Good morning. Welcome to Mornings with Phil John's VIP. This morning, I'm about to get it started with a special guest that I've known for many, many years. Um, I finally got in touch with her so that we're able to come together and have this conversation and make it happen because she's truly a gem. I started Phil John's VIP now. Erica, I see she's in the room. I started Phil John's VIP during COVID, and that was just so that I can uplift and celebrate other people who I saw that were working and doing amazing things in the entertainment industry. But this young lady that I'm about to speak to has been doing this for now, I'm going to say decades. She has been on radio stations from New York to Los Angeles, and now she's in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. And she continues not only to impact, but to give back and to keep the public and the community informed. She has so much talent. It's crazy. And she's a Virgo, so you know how they like to be, producers extraordinaire, and they like to be the ones to make things happen. And she does that with grace. So without further ado, I finally got Erica Kane, voice of 92Q, voice of WEAA Baltimore Radio, the voice of the community, the voice of the people, coming on right now. Give it up for my girl, Miss Erica Kane. Here we are. You. Erica, I'm waiting for you. Just hit that yes button and we can get this started. It's early in the morning. You see, I got my Eve Plum Brady Bunch mug.
Hey,
Hey!
I hope that I'm worthy of such an honor. The whole intro. Thank you.
Oh
Oh my
man,
gosh.
listen. Finally, I got you. So I have to do it right. I have to do it right. Thank you so much for joining me.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad we got to make it happen. I know we both have busy
Yeah.
schedules. You got me on a good down day. I don't have to be on camera today, so hence I'm recording today. I just came from the radio station, just did live radio, and I'll be recording for the rest of the day for audiobooks. So you caught me on my down day where I just get to have my fresh face and just be myself, and I don't have to be dressed up and be.
Right, and work at your leisure. Like
Yeah,
you just get it done.
so here I am. So I'm glad to have this time with you, Phil.
Yeah, man. It's been a long time, and I've always talk about you in a way that I think that, and I've always admired you because I've always saw the way you moved, and I feel like there's so much. Even when putting this together, I'm like, there's so many things that 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 you embody that it's hard to put it in a paragraph. It's
Oh,
hard to tell it all because
likewise,
you've done so much.
likewise.
You know, so I know that you are the voice of the community, but where did it all start? How did you get into this? Because I know you a Jersey girl.
Right.
So where did it begin?
Are we taking it to the way back when I used to read off the cereal boxes for my
Ah!
family, like they were commercials, and we're supposed to be sitting down eating breakfast. And everybody's like, "Shut up!" And I'm just sitting there reading the cereal boxes, like, checks are for kids. But I can say, just pursuing, just being grateful to be able to pursue my passion, and having family and parents that are supportive, that believe in you, that tell you you can do what you believe that your dreams are, because that's always important as well. But I always feel like I kind of hit the ground running. Even with college, I went to Howard University, and we didn't technically have to start internships until our last year, but I started my internships as soon as I got in. Um, I just wanted to get an idea of what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. And I didn't want to wait for that security net of college to be gone, because for anyone who's been through that, and you know what that feeling is like, going from a student to when graduation is over and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's the real world and I got to get a job. I got to make a living. Oh, it's real.
Right.
And you want to be as prepared as you can be before it gets really real. So I tried to start my internships early. Back then I wasn't getting paid for those internships. Now they're paying better. But I did some free internships, but it helped me to know whether I wanted to be in a newsroom, whether I wanted to do entertainment, whether I wanted to do radio. Which lane do you want to take with this whole communications thing? A lot of people, they won't always encourage communications. It's a hard field to get into. You should try something more stable. So if you're going to do it, at least have a plan. And so I tried to, I won't say a plan, but I just at least tried to get as much of an idea of what I wanted to do before I graduated school. So by the time I graduated from Howard, I just felt like I knew which direction I wanted to go next. I didn't want to waste any time.
A lot of people don't know that like a big huge part of what we do is
Mhm.
networking. And I don't think and I meet a lot of students that come out of conservatories and programs, even graduate programs, that's the key. That's the missing piece that they don't get. Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't know why some people don't understand how important networking is. But not everybody is good at everything. You could be really talented and not be a great business person. You could be really talented and be kind of introverted and not really be good at talking to people or attending those events and having to start those conversations and what am I going to talk about and how do I, it's not everybody's a people person. But it's important to know that those things are important just to kind of get in where you fit in and to just be yourself. You don't want to be, overbearing. You don't want to be phony. And I think people can plus smell that from a mile away. But, just be yourself and yes, who being participating in community events.
Mm-hmm.
Participating in clubs, getting involved when you're in college, getting involved in the community, that's all helpful because those are all people and contexts that you'll know as you continue your journey in life.
Now you've interviewed so many people
I know it's
throughout
odd
the
being
years.
on this end of it. I'm like, I'm used to doing asking the
Right,
questions.
right. Exactly. And I'm thinking about that earlier. All of this played in my mind. I was like, okay, wait a minute. She might flip this on me during the course of this conversation.
And listen, I trust you, Phil. I've known you for a long time,
Yeah,
and I don't do a lot of these like at all.
yeah.
And I'm always like in wardrobe, radio, TV ready, and all that, ready to go. But I said I don't know what Phil is going to ask, but I'm just going to be ready,
Yeah.
because I know what your intention is, and I know that the intention is just to help and inform people. So I said I didn't know exactly which way we're going to go today, but I'm on your train
And not
today.
only
See,
that,
you're asking the questions.
and not only that, but it's also to celebrate because, as I was saying before you came on, is that I started this during COVID, and
Hmm.
it was a point where it was kind of like things were slow, but I saw a lot of my colleagues really excelling. Some people booking shows, and I said, Why should I know all of these people and not really celebrate? Because it is
Yeah,
in my nature to say, to be in someone's churn section because I know the sacrifice and the work that it
oh,
takes to get there,
for yeah,
right?
for sure.
So that's why I started doing it, and you have been one of the people who I've been wanting to do for the last 6 seasons that I was doing this because, and I said this to you privately, but there was a point when I had a went through something really horrible, and I remember I was in Los Angeles, and I came back to New York. And I remember I didn't go home. I went out to Long Island. I stayed at my cousin's house. I'm just trying to pull it back
Yeah,
together again.
yeah.
You called me. Hold on. I'm choking for some reason. Excuse me.
Hmm.
Let me drink some water.
But don't get emotional on me, Phil.
I'm
Like,
not. I'm not.
don't get emotional on me.
And the phone rang, and I picked up the phone, and oh no, it might have been a text. I called you after, and you said, "Are you willing to do a audio book?"
Hmm.
And I said yes. So you told me what the audio book was about, and at that moment, I was like, I can't afford to turn down any work
Yeah.
because I
And
had
you've never done any audiobooks
I
at that point. So you
I,
didn't really know what you
I
were like
never
in
did.
store for, but you said
Yeah,
yes.
and I said yes. But but it's interesting that people don't realize exactly what a gesture. We don't understand the timing of it. We just do it. So if something comes to us, if you need to reach out to somebody or offer somebody an opportunity or just check in, do it because you never know why the universe and why spirit is giving you that why that name even dropped in your head. You don't
Sure.
know. So for me, that opened up a new experience for me. It opened up a new door for me, and I wanted to publicly say thank you. I've always admired you from afar. I've
Yeah.
always admired how you move and how you have the ability to separate what is personal and keep your business separate from your personal life, and excel in both. So for that, I just wanted to say thank you and let people know that
Yeah.
about you, because
Oh, well, yeah, thank you.
your
You did a great
personality.
job, Phil. You
Thank
did a
you.
great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was glad we made the connection.
Thank you so much. So I want to ask you, who was your favorite person? Because you did a lot of red carpets, BET Awards, red
Oh, yeah.
carpets. You've been everywhere. So who has been your favorite person to actually connect with on a red carpet and interview?
Oh my gosh. I've had some weird and funny red carpet moments, but I think one of the funniest was Omarosa. And I met her mom, who I dubbed as Mama Rosa that day. But they were having a good time, and they were fresh on the BET awards carpet. This was quite a while ago, but her mom stepped out in this dress, and I said, Mama Rosa, like you are killing it. I mean, they could have been sisters, you know what I mean? And she took the compliment, and she said, well, I'm feeling extra good because I just got some fresh ones today. And she was talking about her new set. And I guess her and Omarosa went out and got a Mommy and Me new set, honey, and she debuted her new twins on the red
Oh my
carpet. And
God.
listen, I guess say what you want to say about Omarosa. She is a Howard grad, so I have love for her on that front. But I could appreciate the mommy daughter love and the connection that they had. They were having a good time, and we had a good time on the red carpet. And honey, you couldn't tell Mama Rosa a thing, okay, with her new twins. So yeah, that was pretty memorable.
Do you think you'll be back on the red carpet anytime soon?
You never know. And you never know in what
Right,
capacity.
right. I love it.
Just how I'm on the other end of this interview. You never know how it's gonna flip.
You never know. That's the beauty. It could be frustrating, but that's also the beauty of it.
Yeah,
You know, because what you could dream for yourself, something bigger can happen, and
absolutely.
that's the beauty of this industry. So
It is.
how do you manage to kind of keep yourself grounded going through all of this, and how do you find the joy within the business?
First of all, and I use this example a lot when we talk about finding joy after having a chance to, like travel the world and meet different people. And it's like you ask someone from the US, what do you do? And they say, oh, I'm a lawyer, or I have a podcast, or I do this and I do that. And they're going to tell you about what they do and, their occupation and what they do for a living. And you ask someone from another country, what do you like to do? Pick a country, any country. What do you like to do? Um, and some of my European friends are like, "Oh, what do I like to do? I like to go to museum. I like to go to park. I like, And you ask some of my European friends about what they like to do, they're going to tell you about what they like.
Yeah, yeah,
Ask them about what they
yeah,
do, and they'll tell you about what they do in life that pleases
yeah,
them, what they do just
yeah,
for hobby or whatever. And a lot of us here in America don't even know what our hobbies are. If you ask someone what they like to do in their spare time, a lot of people really don't even know what to tell you. Or it's just, I get home from work and I plop down in front of that TV, or I'm scrolling social media, and that's my time. But like, what
yeah,
do you really like to do, and what really makes you happy? So I think that it's always important to stay grounded with what makes you happy. And as much as you work hard, take that time to, you could say play hard, but to balance,
hmm
just have that balance in your life about what you like to do. Also, I've always realized too, at the hardest times in my life, that my family is the most important to me. So, those are some things that keep you grounded in this world, that you're going to have some moments where you realize all of this stuff, social media and the brands that we're pushing every day, and all these TV shows and recording and all that, that could become
yeah,
fluff in just 2 seconds
yeah.
if the things closest to you begin to crumble. So, you want to have that balance.
Truly, I was asked that a few times. It's like, what is it that I like to do? And
Hmm.
you sit back and you think about it, because in this country, especially with growing up in the U.S., we're taught to compete from kindergarten. We're
Mm-hmm.
taught how to how to be a straight A student, get the award this year,
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you check all the boxes so you can move on and be promoted, make sure you got all the requirements before you graduate. So I think that at some point there's a switch that goes on that we start competing, and then we get into adulthood and we just don't know how to stop.
Well,
And that
also, it's like we are, does school really prepare us for the adulthood that U.S. society has in store for us? There are so many practical, ways of life that we don't learn in school, besides the algebra and everything. Remember back in the day, they used to have like shop and home ec and different things like that. But, financial literacy, credit, different things like that help, that you have to know about.
yeah.
You get a job, taxes, hello,
Yeah.
just different things that it's
Yeah.
like you don't even, talk about in school. But, I think that, it's also that society has us in a place where once we're out of school, whether we're graduating high school or college, you got to hit the ground running. You gotta make a living.
Mm-hmm.
Our economics right now are pretty skewed.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's just like a survival mode that I think a lot of people are, kind of get thrust into too. And when you're constantly in the survival mode, it might be hard to always remember, oh yeah, for fun. What
Right.
I like to do
What
for
can I
fun.
do for fun? Sadly, some people feel guilty about having fun, you know,
Well,
because
you
they
gotta have fun.
time. But you got to do it. You got to make the time, even if it's just to sit by the water.
Yeah. And then, if you're blessed enough, and you don't have to be lucky and fortunate enough, it's just really about what you plan to do with your life. But if your work is something you enjoy doing, and you can have fun while you work.
Absolutely, I agree. So you are a producer.
Hmm.
You're a Virgo.
Yes, indeed.
So that means you pay attention to detail.
True. Uh-huh.
Is there any, I guess, aspirations to produce scripted content?
To produce scripted content, yes, absolutely.
So
Don't ask
tell me,
about plans because I cannot tell you.
because we
I
know you
cannot
did a
tell
lot of, we know
you.
you did reality stuff, but I'm interested to
Right.
know if you're introducing and producing scripted content for either
Yeah,
television.
absolutely. And honestly, even the way that I got into the reality and unscripted, it was just such that wasn't necessarily the plan. My morning show in Philadelphia ended, and I decided to pack my truck, and I was going to LA because that was the next stop anyway. Why waste time?
Right.
But the timing was just so wild because I happened to land in LA at the same time as the writer's strike going on at that
Mm-hmm.
time. Very similar to the one that we just got through recently with
Right.
SAG
That was
after
great
and
around
actors and writers. So, there was a strike happening. So you have people that were working on sitcoms or dramas, scripted television, that were losing their homes, losing their jobs. And so now I'm out here. See,
mm-hmm.
I packed the truck. I'm here. And, I'm talking to my friends like, what's going on? And one of my best friends in the world since college is like, you got to get on this reality TV train. And I'm like, man, I didn't come out here to work on reality television. You know what I mean? So he's like, listen, I got an opportunity for you. Just come in. And I started working on Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay, Fox. And he worked on a few shows from there, The Amazing Race, and a few different shows, reality TV shows. But it was honestly because that's what was popping. That's what was moving at the time. If you wanted to be in the business at that time, that was the only thing moving because everything else was on strike. So I got in kind of accidentally, but I started at the bottom. I wanted to learn the whole thing from the bottom up. I started by logging tapes, and logging is not for the weak. That's when you have to watch all of the footage and tape exactly what's going on so that the editors can go back and go through your logs. And if they want to go back to the scene where Tisha touches a snake,
Right.
they can search snake and Tisha and from my work, and it'll pop up, and they can have all their scenes ready to go, so they can chop them up and edit.
Right.
So I started like the low level, but I just wanted to learn everything from the bottom up. And from there, I was soon assistant to executive producer, segment producing, and producing from there. So it just kind of started accidentally. But yeah, definitely scripted for sure. Some plans for
That
scripted.
editing process is no joke. Shout out to everyone who edits.
And that's video and audio.
Yeah.
It's not for I have editors that I hire now for my audio work. I still do quality control and audio editing and mixing and mastering, and it's tedious.
That's why it always baffles me when people feel like they can watch what we do and then jump in front and just start doing it. Like, oh, it looks easy because we work hard to make it look like it's just flawless. But it's really a lot of work.
It is. And I don't discourage anyone who sees something, because these days you got to find what is for you and go for what you know. I encourage everyone to sure jump in there and get your feet wet, but you're going to learn the real from the fake really quick. And your intention has to be right. If you're just jumping into a field because you see, Tom and Dick over there doing it, so you feel like I should be doing it too, or how they get to do that, I'm gonna do it too. But if you don't have a real passion or purpose behind it, you're gonna run out of steam really quick when you do find out how much work goes into a project like that. So for the people that have been doing this for years, I love to see all of the artists out of Baltimore, whether cinematographers, filmmakers, actors, musicians, that seem like they're kind of coming out the woodwork, but they've been working at this for a long time. Yeah. And it's the passion for something that keeps you going all these years. When you were making no money, when people were telling you to do something else and to go in another direction, there's a purpose and passion behind people that have been doing this. So these people aren't just popping up. So yeah, for the folks that are seeing it and they're like, oh, they doing movies. Oh yeah, we can do movies. Okay. Right. And listen, if you have the support, the resources, the capital, the people, and you can get it done, get it done. Right. You know what I mean? Because it's all bigger than one person. If you can do it and represent for the community, represent for Baltimore, represent for the people, do it. Right. You just want to make sure your intentions are pure, because 9 times out of 10, when it's not, you run out of steam really quick.
Yeah, it's like you're like, no, I'm gonna be a basketball coach. It's okay.
Yeah. Shout out to the basketball coaches. Okay, we need y'all too.
Yeah. So I just think it's great. So you're in Baltimore now. So
I am in Baltimore. I'm in the DMV. Yes,
the greater Baltimore, Washington area. What has that been like for you?
Well, yeah, right now you can catch me on air in Baltimore, WEAA 88.9 FM. You can catch me in DC on air, WPGC 95.5. Man, it's just become a second home. I have been in the DMV area since Howard, since I attended Howard and graduated from Howard. And I never really left. I never really left the area. I have family here. I started a family here, and it's just been home. And I've lived in about 7 different states. I mean, I've lived in LA, I've lived in New York, I've lived different places, and have always migrated back to this area.
One thing I love about that area for me is that I feel like it's so many talented people there, and you can really cultivate and grow without all of the pressure and competition from the industry that lies in New York and LA. It's like if you want to collaborate and try something, you could try something, and if it fails, the thing about people in Baltimore is they'll still love it even if it fails.
Yeah.
But you're able to do that, and you be able to fail but still have the love around you and get up and try it over and over again. And I think people are open to learn a lot more. I believe that the best thing you can do in any creative field is to always approach it as a student. And people are always willing to learn there, and they're always willing to support. The biggest support system I have comes out of Baltimore, and dope.
Despite what people say, I know they use the crab in a barrel term here for folks in Baltimore, but especially since COVID, there's been a huge emergence of entrepreneurs, businesses, and creatives just bringing their resources together to make things happen.
I've
So.
seen some. I saw you in a flick. Tell me about that.
Yes. Man, shout out to Alvin Gray. Alvin Gray he's been all over the place, representing for Baltimore. He's found this niche where he has these films that are going viral. The nurse that saw the baby on the highway, the rapper that got shot in the heel, the wife who didn't know who she married. Kind of flipping off, these real life, viral experiences. And his films have gone viral. And I've known Alvin for years, since he's been directing music videos way back in the day, and short films and different things like that. So, yeah, I reached out to him, and I'm just like, I was supporting him at a film premiere. And I was just so excited with all the work that he's doing. And I said, I'm getting in. Like, don't be surprised if you catch me at an audition, Alvin. And, he's like, okay, and then I said it again, and he's like, okay, wait, you're serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm serious.
She's serious.
I'm serious. And Alvin knows me well enough to know that, I don't joke around too much, and I don't waste people's time. And if I use my breath to say that I'm good at something, or I'm going to do it, more than likely you can put your money behind it. So he's like, just because you keep bringing this up, I'm really excited to see what you can bring to the screen. Right. And he gave me a shot for his web series. We had a great time, and then he called me back for his film, Check Please, and more to come.
Well, I have something under my belt that I would like to come to Baltimore to shoot.
Okay.
Content, short project, and I'm looking to connect with people who are willing to work with me on that too. And it's really, we might have talked about it, but if not, we'll talk about it offline. But yeah, it's a small film, but I only see it being shot in Baltimore. So
now's the time. And I love this whole renaissance. It's so funny. For so long, people have just associated with, Home of the Wire. Like, how long has it been since The Wire? You know what I mean? I was out at one of my daughter's soccer tournaments, way out in West Bubble, whatever, Virginia, out somewhere. And I just, I'm wasting time, killing time in a Walmart. I got a little bit of stuff. I see this guy behind me. I asked him if he wanted to, get ahead of me. He's like, oh, no, that's so nice of you. And I said, hey, I'm killing time. I'm here at my daughter's tournament. He's like, oh, where'd you come from? And I said, oh, we drove here from Baltimore. He's like, whoa, here's some things about Baltimore, I tell you. Whoa. You know what I mean? And, he seemed to be pleasantly surprised that he was actually talking to someone from Baltimore that was so nice and so polite, and offered him a spot in line. And he's like, well, you just seem like the nicest young lady. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of that in Baltimore. You need to go beyond the news and not believe everything that you hear on the news. But one thing that I love to see about the projects that are coming out, and especially Alvin Gray's projects, showing a different side of Baltimore that you don't get to see. There are different sides of Baltimore. There's luxury in Baltimore. There's money in Baltimore. Not everything looks like dilapidated, row houses in Baltimore.
When you look at what's getting the attention is only like a small few block radius of an area.
Yeah.
There are pockets, just like there are pockets in New York. The only thing is that there's so many more people here that it overpowers those little pockets. But I mean, like, if somebody could do a whole movie about Edgemere projects, people probably won't even know that Edgemere is in Queens. You know what I mean? But because you're not going to associate that, because you still got the Empire State Building. It's still it doesn't. But for some reason, because the popularity of shows like The Corner and The Wire, it just seems like that little small section becomes this huge. It's the identity of Baltimore, which is just not true.
Yeah. So that's that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about this new identification. People seeing a different side of Baltimore, seeing all these films and all this talent coming out of Baltimore. Like, yeah, y'all got all that equipment. Yeah, we got cameras
Yeah.
in Baltimore. We filming.
Yeah.
We're shooting in Baltimore. Not well. We're shooting film.
Yeah. And keep
Okay.
in mind the theater scene. We have a director, a Broadway director, who is now the head of Center
Hmm.
Stage, who's bringing more talent that caters to the Black and Brown experience to Center Stage, and
Right.
I'm excited to hear about that as well too. So
Yeah.
keep on the lookout. Keep your ear to the streets, so
Yeah.
you could that people can come experience the things that happen in New York that are now in their backyard.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. I'm excited about it.
so I'm going to ask you 5 questions that I ask everybody that comes on.
Okay.
All right. Right, and you can answer them however you want to. These are really just is not heavy questions. Well,
Okay.
you ask, but so tell me something that you know about the industry now that you thought you knew before you got in. Like
Hmm.
you thought you knew the industry, but what have you discovered now that you've been a part of it for so long?
Well, you always hear stories about people, getting quote screwed over, signing bad contracts, and you feel like you kind of can look out for that type of thing. But it's one of those things where sometimes you find out, wow, in certain parts of the industry, like you think you know, but you have no idea. Like you really, really have to be careful about what you sign. You really, really have to be an advocate for yourself. You really, really have to know your worth walking into a room. It's one thing that I tell people all the time, because a lot of people don't know how to advocate and negotiate for themselves. And they walk into a room feeling like, oh my gosh, I've never had an opportunity like this. I've never been called into a meeting like this. They're calling me in about this book deal, or they're calling me in about this deal. I've never had anything like this, and I'm just so happy to be here, which is awesome. But don't be so happy to be there that you forget that you were invited there. People that make a lot of money and spend their whole day making money, they're not going to interrupt time out of their money making day to take an interview with you unless they see an opportunity or a potential to make money with
Yeah,
you.
there
The
you go.
fact that you got the meeting and the fact that you were sitting in the room with these people, you should know right there at that moment that you're enough.
Yes,
Period.
yes,
And some people don't have that mindset walking into these situations, so they kind of just like, oh, and shrinking themselves, and oh gosh, these big wigs, and I'm just happy to be here, I'll take whatever you give me.
right.
Just know your worth when you walk in, and don't be afraid to ask for it, because if you're worth it, they're going to give it. Don't feel like you have to sign something right away without having a lawyer or a representative on your side look at the paperwork that you're signing. How many people, and that's from writers to music to whatever parts of this industry, that have signed bad deals, and even down to a book. There's so many things that could be done with the book. You don't want to just put all of your time and effort and months into writing a book and then just sign the rights away to a book without looking out for
Yeah,
yourself. And then, years later, you see your book is now an audio book. Oh, didn't know about that. Didn't have no choice in that. Oh, it
right.
has a new cover. They didn't ask me. Who's narrating it? Didn't ask me. What is they turning it into a
Yeah,
movie? Did I
yeah,
get that check? No, they didn't send me that check.
yeah,
Okay. And
yeah,
it's like, you want the first time that you see your book or something turned into a film or something. That's like a dream
yeah,
for a lot of people. And the first
yeah,
time that happens, that's something that you want to be a part
yeah,
of, right? Something that you want to be able to celebrate
yep,
and enjoy. That's not something that every time you walk by and you see the billboard up or something, you just like, you look away in disgust because I got screwed.
yeah,
That's my first book, and I have nothing to do with the movie. Nothing. It's blowing up. Everybody's making money off of it, but me.
yeah,
Nobody even called me to get my input.
yeah.
And so you just really have
About
to
that.
know your worth, advocate for yourself, and just know that if you made it into the room, even if it's just an interview, just to have a meeting, know that you have a worth, that there's a reason why you're in the room, and you know your worth while you're in that room. Talk
Yeah,
that talk, walk that
yeah.
walk, you know,
Mm-hmm.
like you know.
Yes, you belong there. You got to
Yeah.
walk in like you belong there. That amen to that. I
Hmm.
tell you, who would have known that all of these years would go by and um, cable would be what it was, and that led into streaming services. Now, no one knew that back in the early '80s and the late '70s
Hmm.
when they were on television. And now this whole every what 3 years now we got to renegotiate the SAG-AFTRA contract. Because technology and things are changing, and it's just crazy.
And
That was good.
that's a whole nother monster right there with
Yeah,
AI. And it's unfortunate that a lot of the actors are just in a position where they have to hope and pray that the people who are spearheading the movement have your best interest at heart and just won't sell out all of the minor players just so that the major players are able to still profit.
yeah, yeah. Man, that's another story. We could be on that all day.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
because that's scary.
what advice would you give your 19-year-old self?
Ooh, um, ooh. Well, first of all, I would pat my 19-year-old self on the back for this industry is small. That's something you don't know going into it.
Yeah.
It's like you're at home and you think all the rappers hang with the rappers and nobody, you're like, no, the person that you would least likely think hangs with this person,
That's
and
true.
everybody knows each other. And I pat myself on the back for just like really, and some people probably thought I was maybe they took it as arrogance, confidence, full of myself, but I carried myself in a certain way at a young age because I had to. People always tried me, and I came into this industry really, really young.
Yeah.
And the celebrities, I mean, they would approach you or have someone, their man or whoever, approach you as if you're just supposed to be willing to go for whatever just because of who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, well, how come she's not interested? Because I know somebody that's bigger than you that I just got last week and you're not interested. I pat myself on the back for not ending up on a bunch of casting couches and in a bunch of random hotel rooms. You know what I mean? Early in my career, just being lost, going for broke and thinking that certain things are going to get you certain places.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that was. Maybe it's a little survival instinct of me being on my, being out here,
Yeah.
on my own since 17, just, but yeah, that's one thing. But if I had to give myself some advice, just never get too comfortable, to always want to challenge yourself. Um, and use your years, your formative years, those years, before you get somebody that locks you down into a relationship, before you're living with somebody, before you're having kids, before all of that, use your years to really do what you want to do. And even if it's accepting little jobs that just give you different experiences, you know what I mean? Go live and work in Hawaii for a year if that's something you want to do. Go accept some overseas position and just have that time in your life where you're like, oh my gosh, I'll never have a time like that back again. And that was just 1 year of my life I'll never forget. But
Yeah.
take your time to do those things because, life's life starts to life and it gets real before you know it.
Yeah.
And then you're growing up and you're getting married and you're having kids, and you get older and you're taking care of your parents and whatever, or certain things happen where you're not really able to you might not be able to be as mobile as you want to be. So that's one thing, that one bit of advice that I would give, like really use those formative years, like your early years where you've got that freedom to move and you don't have a lot of responsibilities. Don't just say, oh, I wonder what it would be like, or I always wanted to do
Yeah.
it. Just do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just do it.
What would you like your legacy to be?
I don't know.
That was an honest answer. Oh.
You think like somebody like me, like would have that part of it worked out.
Right.
Listen,
Right. right.
Phil, I'm still working on enjoying the fruits of my labor. I'm getting to that point in my life where now all of this work that you've put in, right? Let's consolidate it. Let's see what it means. And I'm always open and willing to help, especially people younger than me, especially young women younger than me. When I was coming up, man, it was hard to find a mentor because it's sad that just older women are still some older women still trying to get to that point and still trying to find themselves, and so they don't have the security to even be able to help women younger than them. They're looking at those young women like, she's doing what I should have been doing. I'm like, girl, it's, you know what I mean? Get to a point in your life where you feel blessed enough and comfortable enough, and you feel solidified enough in yourself as a professional to say, you know what, I can take all this experience that I have under my belt and all these years of knowledge and my expertise and help somebody. Whether I've made it to that pinnacle point that I've been shooting for all this time or not, I know that I have enough under my belt that I can help people. Unless you just want to keep it to yourself until you're old and stay in your own little selfish race. I mean, okay.
Right.
But
And what I learned is everybody's journey is different.
mm-hmm.
Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's timeline is different, because I don't think that I would have been as wise and intelligent as you at that age, at 19. I think I know that there was still a lot of life I had to learn, and before I get to this point. Because now that
Me too.
I've been in the business for a while, it's kind of like I look back and I'm like, me at 19, nah, I wouldn't have been able to handle it.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
so yeah. So but it's always, but what I've learned, I'm always willing to impart back to somebody younger than me.
And that's the important part. You want to be able to give back. I don't know. I don't think I don't think a whole lot about legacy. I think a lot about taking care of the right here and right now, and making sure my family is good right here and right now. And I feel like the work that I'm putting in will lend toward a legacy. But it's wild. I lost a friend of mine recently who gave back to so many people, and it was definitely, to see the outpouring of love, for people that came out for him. But even still, with somebody who gives that much time to other people and that much of their life to other people, it still has to be a, a couple of special someones out of all those people that you touch,
Yes.
that still will be willing to push your legacy forward, to push that person's legacy forward. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody can put so much and invest so much into a community, and then it goes to, maybe your children aren't grateful, or the people that you helped out are gone, or whatever, and then it's a legacy squandered, a legacy lost. It's still up to the special couple of people out of the whole community that you touched to say, that person touched me so much that I want to make sure that their legacy is never forgotten. I want to start this foundation. I want to do something and plant this seed, to show that I want to help remember this person and everything they've given. So, I mean, truly. I don't know, Phil.
Truly. So what brings you joy?
Oh, my family and taking care of my family. Simple things bring me joy, like going outside and breathing the air and thanking God for another day. I can have instances where everything in my day or in my life at that moment isn't going right, but I can just be, driving my car and just catch a breeze. And I'm like, but I have so much to be thankful for. And those moments bring me joy.
And that was my second question. What are you grateful for? My last question. You're grateful for
Life, being black and breathing. Hallelujah. A chance to, just to be able to be in a position to make sure, that my family is good and taken care of. Being in a position to be able to touch people and network with people and communicate with people. I'm always thankful when I'm able to collaborate with different companies, and they trust me and entrust me with giving me a platform to be able to reach out to the community on their behalf. Doing celebrity interviews and all that stuff, that's always great. But when I get to meet people in the community, those little hidden gems, whether it's here in Baltimore or other places, just meeting different people that have such profound and interesting stories. And it's like, how did I never even know about you? Or how did I never even hear about you? How are you right here in Baltimore, right here in the DMV doing all these great things? And I'm just meeting you, but I'm grateful for the chance to meet you, you know?
That's a blessing because there's so many beautiful people, especially in the Baltimore area, that people are doing some really great things for the community. Those are the people I feel like should be highlighted more.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So what's next for iiKane?
Well, like I said, there's some things that I can't speak on. I know you asked about scripted series, so we'll see what's to come. But I am grateful because I stepped away from the entertainment industry for a little bit, for personal reasons, to take care of family, and so I'm grateful that I'm grateful for random phone calls, right?
Right, right.
You know that like unexpected, hey, listen, I heard you're back in the area. We're starting a show. We would love to get you on. Would you love to come and fill in and maybe it'll turn into a permanent thing? Hey, we have a new show we're starting. Would you like to? And I'm like, yeah, oh, yeah, sure. Okay, like
It's
absolutely.
live.
It's live, baby. Listen, I'm live all day. Live radio, live.
Right.
But I'm like, yeah, absolutely, of course, and just thankful that you would even think of me, of all the people that you could think of. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for those opportunities that have kept me relevant in the industry, even when I've tried to run away from it or had to step away from it involuntarily. You know what I mean? If I've had to step away because family over everything. Okay, but just to be welcomed back with open arms is amazing. So I'm thankful.
That's good. I can't wait to work with you again in some capacity. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to that.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. What is that? Added tat artist? I don't know if I'm
Oh,
saying that right.
Eddie is an amazing actor.
Oh,
He's
thank you,
actually a
Eddie. I
filmmaker.
appreciate the
He's an
love, Eddie.
amazing filmmaker. Hopefully, I'll be talking to Eddie later on to introduce everybody to him. But
Yeah,
yeah, so I just want to say, number one, thank you for always being open.
yeah, of course.
Thank you for being a ball of creative energy. And, and thank you for always keep being so rooted that you always are giving back to the community.
Absolutely. I mean, what else are we here for? That's what it's all about. So I think that the biggest blessings come from just helping people, and yeah, just bringing more life, baby. I'm
Yes.
glad we can make this interview
Thank
happen.
you. I want to
Yeah,
get back.
listen, I was not on
I'm
camera
itching
today.
to come
As you
back
see,
down there. So
fresh face. I'm not on camera today. I'm recording. I will be in the studio for the rest of the
Alvin
day.
Gray just tapped in. He said Erica is my favorite person ever.
And look, I just said this about Alvin Gray, so you're late,
That's
Alvin.
right.
we,
So
we we
look,
already talked
so
about you,
so
Alvin.
Alvin Gray, I want to meet you. I want
See,
to
we
meet
already talked
you.
about you.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, I did not get through this interview without bringing up Alvin Gray. So yes, we got a chance to chat about Alvin. And for everybody that gets a chance to check out this interview, I do want you to check out 910 Productions. Check out the films. You can catch them for free on the YouTube channel and support brilliant Black arts. And there's going to be
What's the
more
website?
to
The
come.
website?
910productions.com, Alvin, right? And then 910 Productions on YouTube. You can watch all the films, the highly anticipated, highly awaited, highly viral, all over the place, being mentioned on the Breakfast Club and
Yeah.
all types of major platforms all the time. So, yeah, make sure you check it out.
Let's do it. Let's get it. Let's continue to create and evolve. I see you guys at Sundance. I'm putting that out there. The
Okay.
party at Sundance. That's what
Listen,
we're doing.
whenever Baltimore comes somewhere, they know that we're coming. So I'm down for it. We just got to behave. That's all. We got to behave.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you for reaching out to me and thinking of me for this. And yeah, I'm glad that we're always connected and we've been connected all these years.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Get to work. I know you got a lot of recording to do.
yeah, okay. So is this where I exit? You kicking
No,
me out now? Do I go?
it's time.
But yeah, no, no, I do have to get to work. I'm like I said, just left the radio station. I'm headed back into the studio. So yes, but thank you so much for having me. Hit me anytime, Phil.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Peace and
Anytime.
blessings.